Hello, guys. We're back with the weekly recap. Week 2 concluded, and we are here to, of course, bring you the game reviews, most creative set, the trades, the KO leaderboard, the standings. I'm not alone. I am with my co hosts.
Maracujavgc. I'm happy to be here and go over all of the games this week. It has been a very fun week.
And TeaBiscuit, I am back once again, and I'm tired.
Let's go.
Aren't we all? Aren't we
For
Yeah,
some
all?
here, it's the morning, for some, it's the evening.
yeah, it's like 6 p.m. for me.
Alrighty, we're jumping right into game 1. We have the Nothing Creative versus the Roaring Moon Ravagers.
Yeah, so this was a game we saw, the Mega Gengar on the side of the Roaring Moon Ravagers, which we all know can be an incredibly potent Pokemon, and another very potent Mega in the Mega Mawile coming out from Nothing Creative. Two very powerful Megas, but honestly, I think the thing that really caught me about this game was that it was a really great showcase for Runerigus and Bellibolt, two Pokemon that we don't often see in competitive, and just the Runerigus on Seb's side of the field being able to just sit there for basically the entirety of both games and just chipping everything down with Rock Slide, and then eventually getting that Trick Room up, and then once the Belly Bolt comes in, just firing off those Electromorphosis boosted Parabolic Charge, healing itself back up, and then we saw at the end of the second game the utility of Soak being able to overwrite the rather interesting choice on Tenryu's side of having Mirror Type, I think it's called, on the Gengar to copy the opposing Pokemon's type to hopefully resist that parabolic charge, but instead having that overwritten with Soak and going down to the double up of parabolic charge and discharge from the Rotom.
Yeah, I think it was a very fun set. What I was kind of surprised by, or I mean, I don't want to sound rude, but I felt like the Ravagers just, especially in the second game, they just didn't do any damage. It was just reflect
Mm.
type. It was pain split, and it was he was trying to slowly whittle the opponent down,
Yeah,
and it just didn't work. So I would have loved to see a bit more of an offensive approach. I mean, I'm not one to talk. We come to my game and we see it wasn't all that good either.
mm.
But it was a super cool set. Of course, Seb is a very cool trainer.
Mm.
Bellybolt is insane. We
Yeah,
completely mistiered this mon in the beginning of the draft league. It will be higher up coming season 3, I think. And of course,
absolutely. Yeah.
he is the guy that finds all those sets and makes them work. And Runerigus, Bellybolt, when he sent me his draft plan, and he has those two. I was like, yeah, that's just some trick room shenanigans, but
Yeah.
the synergy and everything is really insane.
It's really
Yeah.
funny how he found that synergy. It's really low key, like it's not very apparent, but it works so well for him so far. And it's also hilarious how he had a game with so many type changing moves. Like that's very
Oh
rare.
yeah.
Yeah.
We
Um,
go
you
right
guys will
into.
have to.
Sorry.
Oh,
Yeah.
hang on. You guys will have to tell me if I'm wrong here, but was the Mousehold King's Rock?
Yes, it
Because it
I
was.
think
looked,
so.
yeah, okay, because I thought it flinched the Incin,
Yeah.
but I couldn't tell because I don't know, I don't read German, so I didn't know what it said, but I was like, I'm pretty sure that's a flinch, and I'm pretty sure that's because of King's Rock, but I just wanted to check.
Yes, it was. I have to say something positive about Tenry as well. I mean, it was super heartbreaking to see the population bomb. Like it was a miss or a one hit, and the three
Yeah,
hit like
one
the
hit
next
pop
turn,
bomb.
and it would
Yeah,
have been a completely different game if it connected. So that was a little sad. Game two, I'm not so sad, but game one was just sad to see
yeah,
because
I.
Incineroar would have been down with more than just one hit, and it
Mm,
would have been a completely different game. I think it was very creative. The King's Rock population bomb. I think it's about 70% to get flinched. If I do the math correctly, but
Yeah.
it was unfortunate in game 1.
Yeah,
I'm no
'cause I
one to
think it
talk
got
about flinches, so I'll just be
I
quiet.
think it got I think it got like the flinch off of the one hit on the ensign, and then it got all 10 hits on the Mega Morwile and didn't get the flinch, so
Yeah,
that's
exactly.
rough. I
And
would
then
have
it was
liked
a
to have
3
seen
hit.
the I would have liked to have seen the Reuniclus come out on Tenryu's side. I think that could have been interesting into what he'd brought, another really slow Pokemon to maybe dissuade the Trick Room from the Runerigus, but unfortunately we didn't see that.
We go right into game 2, and it's a very special one. We have the two hosts going at each other. We have the Sleeping Cubones versus the Hoenn Cuties, and of course we had the Mega Frostlass, the Mega Raichu Y, Hisuian Avalok, Tinkaton, Armarouge Pelipper on the side of the Sleepy Cubones versus Mega Gardevoir, Torkoal, Umbreon, Machamp, Mega Aerodactyl, and Raichu on the side of the Hoenn Cuties. And
Yes, do you want me to say something about it, or are you just
yeah,
gonna
I think we can both
do
say a
the
little
same?
bit about it.
All right, all right. I think it was like on my perspective, just from looking at the team and trying to come up with something, I felt like you precisely drafted everything to counter me. It felt like it because everything that I had in mind just had like 1 or 2 months that completely checked it, and it was super, super hard for me to build. I didn't play my best, so I think the result in the end is all right. Yeah, but there were some little crits and flinches shenanigans, but I think I didn't play my best, and you deserve to win here. So GG's. It was tough. It was tough for sure.
Well, thank you. I definitely saw that RNG was on my side. But I know that last time we faced off, RNG was on your side.
That's true. That's true.
But it was.
I think one of you
Yeah.
go ahead.
I think it was a very intense game. Anyway, like you had a lot of very good ideas, but sadly, I just hit every single inaccurate move, even though I had forgotten to put no guard on my Machamp. The only thing I missed was one dynamic punch.
Yeah, that's all right if you missed that. I think what it showed, and maybe that's something that I have to take into account more for the coming weeks. Being the winner of season 1, I didn't expect that I have such a big target on my head. I had week 1, Tenryu said he prepped for 4+ hours versus me. Fievel, you said that you did take it very seriously and you prepped a lot. I had Seb tell me that he wants to play at the end of the week because he needs time to prep into me. So I think I have to step up my game. I have a target on my back, and I have to show that I can still perform in season 2.
Yeah.
Well, we didn't actually get to talk about what happened in game, but I think it's just
You can run it down. You can run it down. I think it was a Aerodactyl Gardevoir lead game 1. It was
exactly.
Rock Slide spam, and it was cool to delay Trick Room. I think it was kind of obvious that you go Mega Gardevoir because it's not very useful outside of the Mega form. There was a very deciding flinch on the second turn, and I think Armarouge was pretty cool. But I had to learn in game 2 that everything was super specially bulky, and even Armarouge couldn't break through. So yeah, I kind of overcooked with the Pelipper set. It would have been cool. I did miss my Whirlpool on the second turn, which was a bit annoying in game 1. And game 2, you just called out what I would switch, and you switched accordingly. And if I brought Pelipper game 2, I think it would have been a game. I didn't. I thought you'd go a different kind of route, and you won fair and square. So that's that. It was very quick set. It was over pretty fast.
Yeah, you summarized it pretty well. I was just really happy I could bring Machamp and Umbreon. I just love that I was able to make those two work.
I love a good D tier showing. I just don't love it when it's against me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, so segue into our next game. We have the Tiramisu Cafe versus St. Gallen Ursa Lunas. Take it away, Darcy.
Yeah, so I think what this game was just a really clear demonstration of how good of a player Farouk is. I think much like last week, even though I beat him last week, a very good player. I think just it seemed that he was able to just call out exactly the right move he needed to use at the right time, especially in game two, losing his Mega Blastoise, the turn it hit the field after a double up from Gunk Shot and Psychic taking it out, and we saw last week how powerful that Mega Blastoise can be if you give it even a turn to get going. But the fact that after losing that insanely powerful piece, he was still able to win in a very convincing fashion, I think is just a testament to him. I think both players had some really interesting tech. We saw the Prankster Swagger on the Lipard to boost up the Lumberry Sneasler on Farouk's side, which not only gives it the boosted attack, but by consuming the Lumberry, it also gets the Unburden boost to its speed, so it just becomes incredibly hard to stop. And we saw quite an interesting choice on Tiramisu's side of using the wide lens. I'm pretty sure it's wide lens. Yes,
Yeah,
wide
lens,
lens on the overquill, basically to make sure that that gunk shot, which is such a powerful move but is often unreliable, make sure it can hit. And then also going for the curse, and then having Oranguru instruct it to like boost its defense even further in one turn. But again, I think it just showed, how good Farouk is. Just the Sneasler running wild in game one, before eventually going down to the Basculegion female. And then in game two, the Sneasler and base Tyranitar, just both picking up 2 KOs. Again, I just think it's a really good showing from Farouk. And I think honestly shows that last week was just bad luck for him. I think he is absolutely going to be very threatening throughout this league.
Yeah, I agree. I think there are some cool sets, or at least cool items on Tiramisu side. I think the Iron Ball, Basculation female on the Trick Room is super interesting. But yeah, if we look at Farouk teams, it's all the sets that can run. It can be acrobatic Sneasler. Sneasler alone is just so annoying with the
Yeah,
speed ceiling.
that's
And
why I made sure to blow it up first turn in all of my games
yes,
against him.
yeah, yeah. And the self swagger is super nice. Also, swagger is a very cool counter to Megastaraptor, in case you didn't notice. Because of contrary, it would be -2
Yes, it
in
is.
attack. So keep that in mind maybe if you go up against it. But yeah, I think it's a super cool team. He's a super strong player. I like that he has a Trick Room route versus a Trick Room team with the Avalok and the Mega Banette. Yeah, super cool.
I
Yeah.
love the Mega Banette. I
Yeah,
love the
Mega
shiny. I
Bayonetta
love
was
the
cool.
prankster it has in the huge attack stat that goes with it for some reason too. It's really
Yeah,
cool.
and also having especially for a draft league, having Frisk as a base ability before Mega Evolving and getting Prankster, I think that's so useful because it tells you stuff about your opponent's Pokemon, and then you get an even more useful ability after Mega Evolving, but you still make use of that base ability.
Right,
Exactly.
yeah. That's super cool.
Alrighty. That
Right.
brings us right into
Now
game four. We have the
we have the Galician Megas versus the Capoeira Kickers. We have two balance guys. We have two super capable balance pilots with Ruby and David going up against each other. Looking at the team, we have double Mega and double Fake Out support with Tailwind and the Scarf Sweeper. Just pretty basic stuff, but Ruby is exceptionally good at doing basic stuff, and we have David with just the one Mega Delphox and support, and the Trick Room option himself with the Diggersby and the Primarina and setup Gudra. And it was on paper a pretty interesting matchup. And I think it wasn't that close, unfortunately, in the games played. Game 1 was super nice. It was Protect the King just done perfectly, or Protect the Queen. The bulk up Baton Pass was super cool for game 1 to get the defense boost on Floette, because it was crucial to survive the Trick Room turns and live hits from Diggersby. And in the end, it just they were able to prevail. And game 2 was just a Calm Mind mirror. And yeah, if you have Floette with Calm Mind, it's with Draining Kiss, it's gonna win. And I think there were some crits overall in the sets. I think the Last Respect crit on Sinistcha mattered in game 1, but overall, I think it's fair to say that Ruby just played better, and the 2-0 is deserved. But I think David will come back stronger, and he will be on the lookout to get himself back into the winning column in week 3.
Absolutely. I must say, looking at the schedule pairings and all that I'm really glad I don't get to face Ruby, at least in the first phase, because that is such a scary team in his hands, because it's exactly what he's used to playing. And it was a great showcase again here in protecting the precious Floette and doing exactly what needs to be done with that scary fish as well. It's terrifying.
Yeah. By just looking at draft, I feel like it just looks like his season 1 draft with just slightly different mons, but it's just same. That's at least how I see it.
It does seem to play very similar. I mean, like you said, it's a style of team that he's clearly very good at using. So it doesn't shock me that he was able to use it very effectively here.
Right, and off we go. Next game we have the
Fatalica Tea Rooms versus the Motor City Mux. Well, we have on the Tea Room side a strong Fairy Steel Dragon combination, as well as a Water Fire Grass core in Mega Feraligatr, Sardwy, and Whimsicott with that priority Tailwind. Or is it Metagross scaring the poison and fairy types away, as well as supporters Clefable and Spiritomb for access to Trick Room, potentially, versus the potent Trick Room focused Motor City Mux with all reliable Farigiraf, Venusaur to catch some of that vitamin D provided by Charizard Y, as well as the Kangaskhan, and of course the big man Camerupt alongside Politoed to keep Sard in check, and Sylveon because she is broken.
She is broken.
Game 1 kicks off, and turn 1 we see Whimsicott taunting the Farigiraf, revealing the Chlorophyll ability, but shortly after the mammal gets one-hit KO'd by Overheat regardless. Trick Room denied. The Fatalichas switch out Zard, preserving it for the late game, as Camerupt switches in and benefits perfectly off the Sun, just dishing out insane damage, and a surprise Rock Slide on Kang seals game 1 for the Motor City Mux. Game 2, we see the adjustment.
Can I say something about game 1?
Go ahead.
I think it's the turn 1 is super interesting because it was they somehow didn't really commit because it was the taunt Overheat double up, and I'm pretty sure Overheat in Sun does just take out Farigiraf, even when it's just full Spadef. But with the Chlorophyll taunt, maybe opting for maybe it's Mental Herb, or maybe I miss my Overheat, and he just wanted to get to make sure the Trick Room doesn't go up. I think it's a very interesting turn 1 for sure.
Yeah, that person just did not want Trick Room to go up.
No.
Well, game 2, we see an adjustment to Mega Feraligatr. Now that is a Pokemon that can very easily tank any incoming fire hits. It's taking those fire moves like it's absolutely nothing, and after a swords dance setup, just body slamming through the entirety of the Motor City Mugs, and we find ourselves in a decisive Game 3. Whimsicott Metagross versus Fake Out Kang and Trick Room Setter Farik, and that's exactly what happened. Almost sacking Kang through Hammer Arm again, but it lives for a Trick Room setup. Can Kang still get value though, or is it just a sitting duck now, preventing an actual sweeper like Camerup to enter? And will it get ignored maybe? Clefable comes in, eating those foul plays from Farik. Trick Room turns ticking down, and no real value from the Kanto Slimes, as we finally see the hard switch into Camerup. And just as Clefable goes for helping hand, Farigiraf manages to get the foul play off and send the Metagross back into its Pokeball. And a crit from Feraligatr sends Camerup to sleep. To sleep in the Pokeball. It's a Sylveon versus Feraligatr endgame, and we all know how that tale goes. An incredibly intense game, deservedly won by the Motor City Mugs. So
Yes, I think just to highlight some things that I find absolutely brilliant. If you're looking at the hard Trick Room composition and you think, what are they gonna do? They lead Kang Farik, they're gonna set up Trick Room, and you just have Hammer Arm to lower your speed. That's fantastic. I think Game 2 was absolutely cinema. It was brilliant. You got the sword stance off on the Sucker Punch turn, and you got your redirection in, and you were just able to sweep. So that is brilliant. It was very smart team building, Chlorophyll Whimsicott as well. It was really, really smart. In the end, it just couldn't prevail. But I think it's a very strong showing, at least in the builder, and something to respect for coming weeks.
I agree. I think it was, I think it was great to see the Mega Feraligatr putting in work. That's one of those megas that I think a lot of people have sort of written off. But I mean, like you said, if it comes down to a dragon type versus a fairy type, it's only going to go one way.
Yes, it's only going to go one way.
we're going also just one way, and that is right into Game 6.
Which is the
smooth.
Gambit Kings, right? Versus the
Yep.
Surfing Azus. And we have Gambit Kings with, of course, their king, King Gambit, Mega Meganium, and Mega Kangaskhan. And we have just another absolute Nikita build with Azu, Mega Scovillain, and just some weird looking mons that absolutely do the correct job they need for the week. And in Game 1, I think that Jono tried to position Mega Meganium into a passive play from Scovillain, maybe expecting the Rage Powder or hoping for the Rage Powder, but the Overheat came out and Meganium was gone, and the Surfing Asus just made sure that Game 1 was locked after that. And Belly Drum on Azumarill also very nice again. Game 2, Fake Out Poison Touch proc is also annoying because the Mega Kang was already on a timer from turn 1, and it just has to feel bad, man. You look at the other team, you see physical attackers, oh man, Coil Melodic must be so good, and then you run into special Aegislash with Substitute. So what can you say? I think there was a very nice play in the mid game from the Gambit Kings where they had to go for a read just to get themselves back into the game. They went for Tailwind Hypnosis and they calling the Protect on Aegislash perfectly, but they couldn't capitalize on it because Aerodactyl was in Aqua Jet range, Melodic was very low, and in the end game, Substitute as well proved critical again, just to play around the Sucker Punch. And it was a creative set indeed, with the Aegislash, with Special and Substitute, and it was a very deserved 2-0 victory for the Surfing Azus.
Yeah, it's always great to see Special Aegislash because it's one of those Pokemon where you can run it either way, but I know a lot of people prefer physical, and the Azumarill on Nikita's side just putting in work as it did last week. There's a reason it's the mascot.
There is, yeah.
Yeah, and it was
It's
also
his
good to
third mega.
see. Yeah, yeah, and it was also good to see the Toxicroak putting in some work and helping. It's a Pokemon that I've always really loved that has honestly been overshadowed by Sneasel, but seeing it put in some work here and really put on a good show for itself.
Yeah, I didn't know it gets Encore until I saw this set.
Yeah, I didn't know it got Encore either.
Well, we
That's
all
a
know there's
learning
some
moment for us
Pokemon.
all.
We all know there's some Pokemon that function basically like Megas, but we didn't know it could also be a Zoomeril, but it is in the hands of the Surfing Azus.
Yeah.
Alrighty, we have one more
Surely
game for
is.
you guys today, and it is Game 7, the Apple Arcanine versus the Graceland Greninja. TeaBiscuit.
Yeah. So, I think this was a real display of how sometimes I get way too cocky and try to play cute and end up screwing myself because game two absolutely cooked my mental in this. Like, I think game one, obviously, like game one, I led with just my sand mode of Tyranitar Excadrill, and that just ran through Happy's team. But then game two, I tried to get cute. I tried to go with Gorgeist and Mega Lopunny. It didn't work, and after that, I was just like, fuck. Then game three was very close. I think, though, honestly, looking back at it, what messed me up was I probably would have won if the Mega Houndoom had missed its Heat Wave on turn two, because it hit that, Excadrill had its sash broken, meaning that I was unable to take more than one hit in that end game. But still, very well played from Happy. I, I screwed myself in the end, really. I should have just run back the same four from game one and game two, and that probably would have been better, but what do you do?
Yeah, I think it was a. I mean, it's a good learning experience for you if you
Yep.
see yourself getting too cute with it. I think there is a way where the switch up works, and it's always a good idea to switch it up game two if it's not too oppressive what you did in game one, and it didn't work. So back to the drawing board. But I think it's with a 1-2 and with such a tight game three, it could have gone either way. So.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, if there'd been like, if like some rock slide flinches or different crits had happened or moves missing, it would have come down to like a single flinch, a single crit, or a single miss. That game three,
Right.
really.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
Well, there was a real winner, and that was the audience. With such a tight game, it was very, very interesting to watch. And you can
Yeah.
never get too cute in Draft League.
Yeah, no, and
You
no
can
matter
you
what,
can
I
get
always
I mean, you can
I
get.
can get too cute. That's what happened to me. But yeah, I will always try to make sure that the games are entertaining, even if it is at the expense of my own mental health.
that's
Oh,
always a very good way to go.
Yeah.
okay, guys. Last week we forgot one very important segment, and that is the
We
most
did.
creative set. So this time we have the week 1 and the week 2 sets here for you. We have for week 1 the Sleepy Q-Bounce, Hisuian, Avalugg.
Yeah.
Do you
Yeah,
want to say
I was
something
so
about the
happy to see
set?
that Avalog put in work.
That Avalok was super cool, week one, and cool to see a highlight for me in this week's recap, even though it is from last week. So yeah, I think especially it just answered everything. It was, I mean, it was max special defense, even with the nature to boost it further, and it was just like zoom lens and doing damage with the strong jaw powered boosts of crunch and I think mountain gale as well. So yeah, I had to find an answer for the opposing team, and I'm very happy that Avalok was the guy. But we see that the Galician Megas prevailed, and Soak Bellybolt didn't get the crown after the heated debate as well in the Discord. Yeah, it was. I mean, yeah, it is more creative. In my opinion, I felt like Bellybolt had a more of an impact, but to be fair, it was the move of game one. The Bull Cup Baton Pass to make Floette unkillable was the way to go, and it was super creative, and it is a very underused mon. So seeing it pop off is makes me happy.
Yeah, agreed.
I agree. Now, here are the trades. A lot of trading was happening again. We have the Graceland Greninja dropping Mega Altaria. We have a Mega trade dropping Mega Altaria for Mega Houndoom. That's quite a big shift. We also drop Noivern for the Zichuai. And the Sleepy Cubones dropping 2 cannon for Mr. Rhyme.
I'm
Yes,
gutted
I
that you dropped
did.
2 cannon.
Yeah, I mean, I have a shiny with a special, very rare personality mark as well of 2 cannon. But after picking up Pelipper, I felt like it was too much of a typing and just synergy overlap. And Fievel, the boy himself, hooked me onto Mr. Rhyme and what it can do with some sneaky shenanigans. So I felt like maybe I have just something up my sleeve for some time in the future. But yeah,
Oh,
if anybody
God.
picks up 2 cannon, I can lend you the rare shiny if you want.
Okay, what do you guys think about dropping Mega Altaria for Mega Houndoom?
I just want to say, both of the pickups from the Graceland Greninjas were brought this week, and they both put in work. Like, the Decidueye didn't take many KOs; it only got one, just the last KO. But the setting up Tailwind and even trapping Excadrill on the field with Spirit Shackle, it just put in a lot of work. And Houndoom, it didn't really do much in its mega form, but in its base form, was able to set up the rest of the team to do really well. So I think they were both good pickups. Dropping Noivern, I'm not so sure about because Noivern is a very good Pokemon, but again, both Houndoom and Decidueye have already put in work, so I think it was overall a good call.
Noivern is
Yes.
also a Frisk Mon, so that's interesting to see go. But even if, I mean, they both put in some work, so the trades must have been the correct ones. And I think you have a lot more staying power with Houndoom if you bring it and do not Mega,
Yeah.
especially versus Sun teams. And I don't know the schedule of Happy if they face the Sard Slop and if they face Fievel himself. So 2 Sun teams possibly because and in those matchups it would be very nice. But also I think it has just a sneaky damage output with and maybe with some weather shenanigans yourself, like Manual Sunny Day, you can even boost it further. So it's interesting for sure. I think it has more staying power and more potential than Mega Altaria has. So that's fair in my opinion.
Yeah.
Let's have a look at the KO leaderboards. Which
Uh,
Pokemon?
didn't we just miss one trade? Or
Oh,
am I just going
did we miss a trade? Live
insane?
check.
I think the Roaring Moon Ravagers dropped the Decidueye Hisui and Clogitzer for Greninja and
Yes, they
Vitribel.
did.
Oh,
They did.
Because I saw they brought it and they brought it to the like in game 1 of the set and immediately dropped it after the game. So the CGI Hisui is officially on fraud watch. It's been dropped twice in
that
2
was on the
weeks.
last weekly
So,
recap.
was it?
Yes, because it happened before the recap came out. So that was I
All
remember putting the
right.
Sichuai, Hisui and the Sichuai on the trades.
All right.
Okay.
Alrighty, we go. Now guys, have a look at the KO leaderboards. Which Pokemon are in the first place? And it is funny because it is both first places are fairy water types. It's in first place with 7 KOs we have Primarina, and second place with 7 KOs is as well the Azumarill from the Surfing Azus.
Yeah, it's honestly a little surprising to see Primarina in number one for me because it's, we're talking about the Pokemon that have really put in work throughout the first 2 weeks. That's not one that has been on my radar, and I'm not sure if it's been on the radar for you guys or anyone else, but yeah, I mean, it's clearly put in work. It's at the top of the leaderboard, basically tied with that Azumarill that we were talking about earlier as basically being an extra mega, but it's come to less games than Azu, so it's on top.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't expect Primarina to have such a strong showing, and I think it maybe is a bit skewed just because it was super, super good into first week's matchup versus the Motor City Mux, and in this week it just had the answer for Calm Mind Floette. So I think it was very interesting, or was very good choices in those 2 weeks. I don't know if it has the staying power to stay on top of the leaderboard. I do think Azumarill definitely has a chance to claim the crown. Also, Basculegion and Mega Blastoise is something that I have
Yeah.
on my card. Also, super surprised to see Armarouge up there.
Yeah, that Armarouge of yours. You were saying a while ago that that was a Pokemon you really wanted to make work, and I think it's clear that you have made it work.
Yeah, it is one of my favorite potential mounts. It can do everything. You just have to find the right tools. And I had it, like I said, I had it in the builder. Like since it dropped, I think it hit my builder every week, and I even tried to make it work on my Groudon team in Regulation I. So I do have experience, and I hope to go all in on it. Even though I thought it'd be more of the supportive mon in this draft, but I think it isn't.
You want to know what's
Yeah.
sad? In my end game against you Sleepy Cubone, I had to pick which Pokemon gets the kill on your Frostlass, and if I would have picked Mega Gardevoir, she would be on top. She would be in first place.
Yeah, but I mean, you have to say it has the best differential. It fainted once, it claimed 6 KOs, as well as like Ichi Slash from Surfing Azu.
Yeah.
So differential wise, it's putting in some work, and it is a mega. So I think I expect Gardevoir to be brought every game, or at least into every game, not in, every set, not every game. But I mean, in the end, Gardevoir for sure has the chance to be up there. I think like my dark horses are Mega Camerupt and Mega
Yeah.
Gardevoir at the moment to be on top. Also Sneasler, it dies a lot, but it kills
Yeah.
as well. So
Yeah.
yeah.
And then, rounding out the top 10, we do have my Mega Lopunny. Put in a lot of work in week one, didn't put in any work week two, but we see just outside the top 10, Excadrill, who put in a lot of work week two, but not week one, and Hisuian Avalok, who again was putting in work.
Week 1, nothing.
Yeah.
Week 2, yeah.
All right,
Yeah,
let's
I
have
mean,
a look at this.
I just little thing,
Yeah,
a
yeah,
little
yeah.
hint. Just scroll down, and on rank 40 we have Megazard Y on the KO leaderboard.
Ooh.
So
Sard Y and Fraud Watch.
Zard Y had been kept in check like crazy. I think all the
Yeah.
teams really, really had to prep for it. And I'm interested to see where it goes. If it just can slowly climb with a good week, or if it's just maybe doomed to be in the lower half of the leaderboard for the rest of the season.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's one of those things like, we're all going to be preparing for it when we're going up against the Zard Y. So if you have a way to counter it, is it as strong?
Yeah.
It's one of those things in Draft League.
That's what I always avoid is 4 times weak Pokemon in draft, especially the Megas. It is very exploitable and can be devastating. It's a personal thing. Yeah. Maybe that's what's happening.
Fair.
Good.
Let's
One
go to
more
the
thing
standings.
to look out for. Guys, isn't this a beauty? I'm very proud to present to you the first place, the Hone Cuties. Again, week 2, I'm in first place. That happened last season too, and then I didn't even make it to the playoffs, so anything can happen. Second place goes to the Surfing Azus. And third place to the St. Gallen Ursalunas. In fourth, we have the Galatian Megas. Fifth place, we have the Nothing Creatives. Sixth place goes to the Fatalisha Tea Room. Seventh goes to the Capoeira Kickers. Eighth to the Apple Isle Arcanine. Ninth to the Graceling Greninjas. 10th, we have the Gambit Kings. 11th, the Sleepy Cubones. 12th, the Motor City Mox. 13th, Roaring Moon Ravagers. 14th, Tiramisu Cafe.
It is a bit of turned upside down. We have
Yeah.
Dono, me, Tenryu in the
What is
bottom
happening
half
to
of
the top
table,
cutters?
who were semi-finalists last year, or finalists even. I think Nikita will stay on top of the leaderboard. Also super happy to see that it seems to be pretty balanced so far. We have only two
Yep.
players that went undefeated in both weeks. So Brest is 1-1, or so that's super interesting. I think it's gonna be up for grabs, and maybe a little insight here. I don't think we've announced it officially, but it will be a top 6 top cut with the first and second seed will get a bye. So like just played out with the table here, we would have Fievel and Nikita with the bye. Would have Farouk playing Robin on 3 versus 6, and we have 4 versus 5. The winner of Farouk versus Robin would go up against Fievel, and Ruby or Seb would go up against Nikita in semis, and so on. So that would be how Top Cup works. So just make sure you get one of the first 6 places at the end of week 8, and you're golden. And we will talk about tiebreakers when we come to it.
Yeah. I would like to point out that for the second week in a row, I am right next to the person who I played against in standings. Where it was like last week, me and Farouk were right next to each other, and now it's me and Happy next to each other. So, you know,
Maybe this is bound to happen.
yeah, I sure hope I can get up into first or third, top of the leaderboard against Nikita, but I'm not sure I will.
Well,
We'll have to
guys,
wait and see.
let's have a look at the schedule. What's happening next week? Week 3. We have the Happy versus Tenryu. I'm just again gonna read all the names. Or it's like the Graceling Greninjas versus the Roaring Moon Ravagers. We have the Nothing Creatives versus the Sleepy Cubones. We have the Hone Cuties versus the Motor City Mucks. We have the St. Gallen Ursalunas versus the Gambit Kings. The Galatian Megas versus the Tiramisu Cafe. The Surfing Asus versus the Apple Isle Arcanine. And the Capoeira Kickers versus the Fatalicha Tea Rooms.
Tea Room. Yes.
Yeah.
Very excited. We have me versus Seb. Also super hype matchup. I think as you said, you play Nikita, so here's your chance to claim your spot in top 6 or top 4.
Oh,
with a
I'm
win here.
terrified.
I'm curious to see you
Yeah.
go up against the Belly Bolt as well.
Oh, yeah, I didn't think about that.
Yeah.
I thought I will just confront all these emotions just later on in the week. But yeah, I have to really dig deep. Also, just because last week was not a very strong showing, so I have to step up my game. I have to show that I am champion of season 1, and I can make a case for season 2 as well. But yeah, Farouk versus Jono is also very nice. I think that was also one of the later rounds, or the cut rounds maybe,
Yeah.
in last season.
Yeah,
So,
and I think also interesting with the teams they have. I think we were talking about in the recap both teams that appear to have very similar game plans of Protect the King, with the King Gambit
Yeah.
and the Mega Blastoise both being, those sort of core pieces that you want to use to their fullest potential. So we could see two teams playing very similarly in a very interesting way.
Yeah, exactly. And also, I think Ival versus Kevin versus Sensatsu is not it's also a very nice matchup. We have like two more Trick Room Center teams going at each other. I think Mega Aerodactyl will play a very important role into this matchup, in my opinion. But
been
I mean,
struggling
I
to
thought that
prepare?
Mammoth wine would play a very big role into me because it just hits everything, and then it wasn't even there. So what do I know? What do I know?
I have been struggling to prepare. I think the most out of all the opponents until now. So I'm
That
also
means
kind of
something, yeah.
scared. Well, guys,
Yeah.
any last words? That sounded
No,
like
I
a
think
threat.
I'm all good.
That sounds like
Yeah. Are you
no.
threatening me?
Okay, well, that concludes it. That's the recap. 45 minutes of content for you guys. Make
Nice.
some more
Thank you for
content for
having
next
us.
week in a banger week 3.
Yeah.
See you guys. Have a good one.
Have a good one.
Bye.
Bye.